friends, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 7 of my 2018 Valentine Card Series. Today I'm going to be using this set from Neat Tangled called Qualifications, and I will also be using the Main Squeeze 6x6 pattern paper pack from Crate Paper. I've stamped my image with Memento Tuxedo Black ink on some Copic friendly cardstock, and I've also chosen one of the 3 sentiments included to stamp inside his little banner, and I'm going to be coloring him with Copic markers today. I'm going to be using some warm grays. I'm using W00, W1, and W3, and I'm starting with that W3 and beginning to lay in my shadows. I'm having my light source be at the center, so I'm going to have my shadows be all around the outside edge. And I'm just going to work in smaller sections on this guy since he is quite a large image. So I'm just starting with his face. And I blended out all those shadows with the W1 really well and then finished in the center with the W00, and that's going to ensure that his face stays nice and light. I didn't want to get too heavy-handed with the coloring today. I kind of wanted to go for a softer look. So now I'm just going to continue with the rest of his body doing the same thing. I did use just the W3 and the W1 on the part of his body that is above the banner but below his head because there would be more shadow cast there. There isn't going to be any room for the light to hit, so there wouldn't really be much of a highlight. Moving on to his ears, I'm going to color those a little bit differently. I'm using the same shades, but I'm now flicking the color on, and that's because I want those shadows to get really deep into that kind of crease there and make it look like his ear is a little bit recessed from his body. And also it's going to help him look a little bit more fuzzy or furry. It's going to add to the effect of having tufts of hair there. And then I'm just blending out with the W1 and the W00. Then I'm going to bring in the R02 and I'm going to add a bit of that to his cheeks so that he looks nice and rosy and cheerful. And I will also add a little bit to his ears. I'm just going right over top of that W3, and that's going to make it look as if his skin of the inside of his ears is just showing through there, and that the hair is actually on the outside edges of his ears. Then I'm going to grab my W1 again, and I'm going to color right over the edge of that R02 just to kind of knock the color back a bit and help it to blend in to the rest of it. For the banner, I'm using BG10, BG11, and BG13, and I'm going to start with that BG13, and I'm going to come in with that from the edges. I want to do like a gradient effect from the outside towards the center, so I'm just using my markers in flicking motions in that direction. Then I'll come in with the BG11, and I want to make sure to catch the end of that BG13 and pull it towards the center because it is quite a bit darker than the BG11 and I want it to be like a subtle fade. And then I'm going to finish the center with the BG10. And I did go back with the BG13 once again and just add a little bit more just to make that contrast on the very edges a little bit stronger. And I actually just did a whole second layer of all 3 shades just to really help that be a seamless blend. And there's a close-up of how he's looking. I've trimmed out my pattern paper using the MFT A2 Stitched Rectangle Stack Set 2 and the MFT Jumbo Peekaboo Circle Window. And that pattern paper has some really pretty gold foiling on it. But before I assemble my card, I want to go ahead and stamp the inside. So I'm taking that koala again and one of the additional sentiments in that set, and I'm going to stamp that down in some Lawn Fawn Manatee ink. And this ink does dry back a little bit, so I am going to stamp that twice so that I get a really nice bold impression. So I stamped the koala first, and then the Misty makes it so easy to just line up that sentiment and stamp it down right over top and get perfect placement. I've added some Scotch 3M foam tape to the back of my focal panel, so I'm going to peel off the backer sheets and then I'm going to line that up right over top of my card base. There's going to be a 1/16 of an inch border on all sides, so I'm just making sure that that looks even, and then I can press that down into place. For my koala, I've added some foam tape to the back of the center of him, and then I'm adding a little bit of liquid glue to his feet and the two edges of the banner, and then I'm going to tuck him in underneath those scallops and have him kind of poking out at the top. I really wanted to let that pretty gold foiling shine without too much embellishment, but I am going to go over his eyes with a black Jelly Roll pen, and then I also take some glossy accents and add that to his nose, and that's just going to make it really nice and shiny and give it a little bit of texture as well, because that'll have a domed finish. Now this looks a little bit milky at first, but it will dry perfectly clear. And that is going to complete our card for today. I'm going to lift that up to the light so you can hopefully see all that pretty gold shine. And I'll give you another peek at the inside as well. You can see how much that ink dried back already. And I did make 2 additional cards with this layout using images that I colored during the Daily Marker 30-day coloring challenge. So that glossy accents is already dry and you can see how that looks. And these cards are all going to the Cards from the Heart card drive, which the deadline is the 31st. So I've actually sent in my cards for this year, and I will be saving these to send in next year. I just like to get a head start and keep creating with all the supplies that I've been feeling inspired by. So I'll be continuing this series right up until Valentine's Day. Here's 2 extra videos from day 7 of the previous 2 years of Valentine Card Series, so hopefully those will inspire you until the next one. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Have a great day. Bye-bye.